What is going on, everybody? Shwazy here, and in today's video we're going to be putting 35-inch tires on the 2020 Hellcat. Okay, hopefully you stuck through that intro. Obviously today we are not going to be putting 35-inch tires on a Hellcat, although that would look pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. But no, that's not what we're doing. In today's video, we're gonna be putting these 35-inch tires on the 2021 Ford Bronco. Yes, so this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Honestly, since I took delivery of the vehicle. So it's been a long time coming. For those of you that don't know, I have a 2021 Ford Bronco in the Big Bend trim, and it's the non-Sasquatch version. So it's just the base suspension. It's really a pretty low trim level. There's really not that much to it, not much bells and whistles, no leather seats, no 12-inch touchscreen. And I did that on purpose for a few reasons. One of them was, well, I wanted to keep the price down just because it is an expensive vehicle to begin with, and it's my daily driver. This is the vehicle that gets a lot of expenses, and so that vehicle was supposed to be a little bit more irrational, and it was replacing a much more affordable daily driver. So I had to keep the cost down pretty low, so I had to keep it pretty bare bones. Secondly, one of the reasons I didn't get the Sasquatch or any of the other trims is because I wanted to do some of the upgrades myself at a future time. I didn't want to be rushed into it at the very beginning, and I wanted to have time to think about what types of customization I want to do. So what did I end up buying today? Well, I ended up getting the exact same wheels and tires that come on the regular Sasquatch version. Yeah, I may have made a mistake there. Maybe I should have just gotten the Sasquatch to begin with, but I'll talk about exactly why I decided to get these wheels and tires today versus something else. Because in all honesty, over the last 2 months, I've been looking at an entire different set of wheels and tires. And up until 2 days ago, I didn't even consider getting these wheels and tires, but we'll touch on why I ended up pulling the trigger on these ones at the end of this video. Before I get into the installation, I briefly wanted to show you the difference between the two different wheels and tires. So these are the stock 2021 Ford Bronco Big Bend wheels and tires. They're actually the Bridgestone Dueler AT, so they're all-terrain tires, and their sizing, in case you're curious, is 255/75 R17. That translates to just a little bit over 32 inches. It's kind of like a weird size versus, we'll get to these in just a minute, those are 35-inch tires. So a 3-inch difference really between the two here. I do want to point out that these tires have been fantastic. They did a really good job. I've taken it on some pretty light trails, nothing extreme. You guys have probably seen it on the YouTube channel, but overall they've been perfectly fine, and they're fantastic in the snow. So I have no complaints. This isn't an issue with me not having enough traction or that these just aren't good enough for the off-roading I do. There's a kind of a twofold reason why I decided to go for these. One of them is I really love the look. I like the look of 35-inch tires. I like the Meteor tire as well. And secondly, for more extreme off-roading that I want to try to do, this will be a better option for that. And that was evidenced by the fact that I took these exact same wheels and tires on the off-rodeo a couple weeks ago, and they were absolutely fantastic. Insane, actually. So that is really the reason, but just a quick look at what the difference is. I mean, you're talking about a couple inches difference in the width. Kind of hard to tell on camera. And then obviously in terms of just size, these are much beefier up here versus these ones down here. These are just an all-terrain. These are mud terrain. They're actually a Goodyear Wrangler Territory MT is the model. They don't say Wrangler on here because, well, it's for a Bronco. So Ford made Goodyear actually remove the Wrangler lettering from the Goodyear Territory MTs, but you can get this on a variety of different vehicles. But they really do a fantastic job. And just in case you guys are wondering on the sizing, it's 315/70 R17. That translates to just shy of 35 inches, which is exactly what I wanted on my 2021 Bronco. Let's quickly just show you what the tread looks like here, and then let's get started with this installation. In order to do that, we need to get these two cars out of here, and we need to get the Ford Bronco in here. Okay, I've got the Bronco in the garage. We're gonna take a few photos of the before and some before footage so you guys can see what it looks like, and then we'll do an after, of course. I'm also going to measure the height of the vehicle before we install the bigger tires to see how much of a difference that makes. All right, so the wife's recording, but I've got about 13.5 inches, as you guys can see on camera, of ground clearance. So we're gonna see what difference it makes with these bigger wheels and tires. Okay, so just got the wheel off of the hub. I wanted to show you a couple things that you should note if you're installing larger tires on the Bronco. So first of all, this is only for the front, but you do have to remove these crash bars over here. So this is the first one at the front. You're gonna just take out these 2 bolts over here and it should slide out. Since mine's not the modular front bumper, I'm likely gonna have to remove the bumper or at least loosen it so I can clear this section over here. But that's gonna be the challenging one. The easy one is back here. Another crash bar you're just gonna have to remove using these 2 bolts and it slides out. Just so you're aware, the Sasquatch package comes with these removed already, so it's not like it's an extra, poor safety feature or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure it does make the safety a little bit worse, and the crash tests that were done on this vehicle were only done on the non-Sasquatch version. So just keep that in mind. It does compromise safety a little bit, but out of the factory, OEM does remove those crash bars, and you have to have that in order for the wheel not to rub when you're turning it. So let's get started with removing these crash bars, and then we'll go from there. All right, so the crash bar is showing that it's kind of hard to get out, so we're actually gonna remove this front bumper. There's 2 bolts here, 1 over here, and this should just come out, and then we'll be able to pull the crash bar out without having to kind of finagle it through that small space. All right, so we just got the bumper off. Again, just 3 bolts on either side, really easy to do, but that makes access to this crash bar much easier. So I definitely recommend that before you even start messing with that section. But now let's remove this second bolt over here from the top, and then we'll attack the back. There you have it. There's your crash bar. Do the same thing on the other side, and the back too, and then you can put the 35-inch tires on it.
Easy as that.
All right, as you can see, the front crash bar and this back crash bar have been removed, so we can finally install the 35-inch tires. Okay, so we actually had to put a pause to the installation, and now it's the next day. That's why I'm wearing different clothes, just so you're aware. But now that we got both crash bars out, let's get the wheel installed and see what it looks like, and then we'll tackle the other side. Okay, we got 3 wheels done, the front 2 passenger and the one in the back. The back one's really easy. You just unbolt the old one, put in the new one, and I'm loving how it looks so far. But before we do the final reveal, let's do that last tire and then the spare. Okay, and we are all done with the Sasquatch wheel installation. And what can I say? I absolutely love how it turned out. I like how they stick out a little bit on the side here because I don't have the Sasquatch fender flares. And just overall, very impressed with the look of this vehicle. It's really beefy, really mean looking. I still have to put the front bumper back on, so that will take a second. But other than that, it really is a fantastic look to it. And a really easy installation. All you gotta do is take out the crash bars. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. There is gonna be more coming, so I hinted at this earlier, but with this installation, I also got a few extra parts, and that's actually the main reason why I decided to upgrade to these wheels versus going with some aftermarket setup. I found an individual who was selling these, and with it, he was selling these Sasquatch coilovers. So you've got the Bilstein shocks and the springs that come on the Sasquatch package, essentially allowing me to make this pretty basic Big Bend Bronco into a Sasquatch, aside from obviously the lockers. But other than that, this vehicle will essentially have a higher ride height and the Sasquatch wheels and allow me to do some more extreme off-roading. But that was the main reason why I felt, you know what, I should probably take this guy's offer, because it gives me the Sasquatch package without really having to pay that same amount of money if I was to order it from the factory, and at the same time be able to get it last July instead of still potentially waiting for a Sasquatch Bronco. So this is really the main reason why I decided to go for the wheel and tire setup that I did, is because even though these aren't my exact favorite rims, I really like the other things that were included with this purchase that are just kind of added bonuses, especially those Bilstein shocks. But he also gave me a bunch of other parts that I don't really need, like the control arms and some lug nuts, but either way, those will all come in handy. So this video series is not over. There's gonna be another video of me installing these Bilstein shocks and showing you what the difference in ride height is. So stay tuned for that video. But before we finish it off, let's show you exactly what the difference in ride height is now after installing these Sasquatch wheels. Okay, so if you guys can see on camera, we've got about 14.5 inches of ground clearance now. Which means we went up just about 1 inch. But stay tuned, because after we install those Bilstein shocks and springs, it should raise it up another inch or two. So we'll do that measurement again after I do that video. But thank you so much for tuning in today's video. If this is your first time stopping by, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all of the weekly car videos. And also find me on all of the social media at Schwazy_. Also stay tuned, because I'm about to show you the before and after photos and some footage of what this vehicle looked like before we installed these Sasquatch wheels. As always, everybody, I hope you stay Schwazy, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.
Mm-hmm.